Mrs. Sewell here, and I'm very excited to be reading this story for you today. It's titled All My Stripes, a story for children with autism. You know, our friends with autism spectrum disorders process things differently than others. And sometimes the way they process things make things better. Sometimes it will make things more challenging. And sometimes the way they process the world around them just helps us see how wonderfully unique they are. If you have a friend or a family member or a student with ASD, oh, please get this book for your collection. It's a wonderful one. All My Stripes, a story for children with autism, written by Shaina Rudolph and Danielle Royer, and beautifully illustrated by Jennifer Zivoin. Zane ran home as fast as he could. "Nobody gets me, Mama." Mama hugged Zane. He began to tell her about his bad day. "This morning in art class, the teacher started a hoof painting project. I didn't want to get paint on my hooves, so the teacher gave me a paintbrush. All the other zebras noticed and were making fun of me because they didn't understand why I wouldn't use my hooves." Mama said, "I bet that made you feel different from the rest of the group." Zane replied, "It did, but paint is just too weird to touch." During math class, the fire alarm blared loudly. While the children in my class were getting in line quietly, I hid under the desk, screaming and covering my ears. The class left without me, and I was scared until the firefighters found me. When the class came back from lunch, everyone was putting their lunch boxes in their cubbies. Some classmates were talking about a video game I play all the time, but I didn't know how to start talking to them. I started talking about all the things I knew about the game, but since I was staring at the floor, nobody knew I was talking to them. When the other kids walked away, I started talking louder. I really wanted them to hear me, but everybody was getting ready for science class. We sat down for science and were learning about the planets. Our teacher gave us each a planet to draw, but I wanted to create my own. When it came time to present, I felt different from the rest of the class again. My teacher loved my planet and said, "Whatever floats your boat." I spent the rest of the afternoon looking for a boat in the classroom. Zane was crying. "How come all anyone sees is my autism stripe?" Mama carried Zane over to the mirror. "When I look at you, I see many different stripes. If one of them were missing, you wouldn't be the same. I see your pilot stripe. When we get lost in the city, you always remember the way home. Your caring stripe makes you act kindly towards others. When your classmates think it's funny to bully other kids, you come to the rescue. Your honesty stripe lets me always trust your word. When other parents have to worry that their kids aren't telling the truth, I know you always are. My favorite stripe is your curiosity stripe. When all the other kids are falling asleep in class, you always want to know more. I love when you come home and tell me everything you learned. Sometimes you ask me questions and I don't even know the answers. Mama pointed out the rest of Zane's amazing stripes. The more stripes she explained, the better Zane began to feel about himself. By the time she was finished, Zane loved himself again. Oh, I'm so glad that Mama did that for Zane. He has so many wonderful stripes that make him who he is. The autism stripe is just one of them. Zane ran outside, feeling the warmth of the sun. Finally, he felt proud of all his stripes. He said, "There's more to me than just my autism stripe. It's just part of me. The other parts make the whole me. I love each stripe because without them, I wouldn't be me." Oh, and that's so true, isn't it? All My Stripes, a wonderfully written book, story for children with autism. There are wonderful support resources at the end of this book. So again, if you don't already own it, add it to your library. You'll be glad you did. Until next time, adios amigos. Goodbye.